Hey, what it do, sports world, and welcome to the Real Untouchable podcast, man, with me, Ray Diggs. I got a great segment for you all. I want to talk about the number 5 Alabama Crimson Tide and why I think heading to this season, the first season without former head coach Nick Saban, I want to predict this team's record. But I also want to explain to you all why I am giving this team the record that I will be predicting. Okay, listen, before I get started, man, make sure y'all hit the like button, the subscribe button, and also the share button, and make sure y'all give me your feedback on what you all think about this segment. But listen, let's go ahead and jump into this thing. The number 5 Alabama Crimson Tide. Okay, the first year without Nick Saban. Okay, Keelan DeBoer is the new head coach. Now, Alabama comes into this year as one of the most talented teams that you will probably see. Okay, and I know people probably looking at me like talented. Yes, the most talented. Okay, when you look at this Alabama Crimson Tide team, okay, what is the one thing that you need that you're gonna need in college football to win? You're gonna need a quarterback. I think that they have at least a top 5 quarterback in college football. Now, when we look at Jalen Milroe would be the leader at the quarterback position. Okay, and that's what I want to start with. Jalen Milroe is coming back off a year that he had a hell of a season. Okay, besides the Texas game, that was the only game really that you can say that he was horrible. But every other game, the kid pretty much put up monster numbers. And guess what? I feel that he was really just learning how to play quarterback. I think he was just learning how to be a college quarterback. I think that Jalen Milroe got better in the offseason. I think that he got with some players, got with some quarterbacks, and he actually, his throwing motion is a little bit different. That is the reason why that this Alabama Crimson team is really number 5, because you have number 4 at the quarterback position. And they have a slew of running backs. Richard Young, you got Jam Miller, you got Justice Hayes. You got three-headed monsters at the running back position that you can hand the ball off to. Okay? At the wide receiver position, Alabama, guess who they got? They got Gino Bernard that came over from Washington. Excuse me, man. I apologize, y'all. Tongue. Okay, but we got Gino Bernard that came from Washington. Okay, you got Emmanuel Henderson. Okay, but I'm gonna tell y'all who's gonna be the biggest surprise going into this season. It's gonna be Kendrick Law. The dude reminds me of Deebo Samuels. He's gotten bigger. He's gotten faster. I think that Bernard would be their best wide receiver, but I think that Kendrick Law would be their most complete wide receiver. You got the young true freshman, Brian Williams. Quote me on this one. This kid right here is only 17 years old, y'all. If this kid right here can stay healthy and get on that field, y'all are going to see the next great Alabama wide receiver. Okay? And quote me on that one. And, they just got a slew of wide receivers down there at Alabama. They are loaded. But the number one position for this team is the offensive line. Alabama has gotten one of the best offensive lines that you can see in college football, led by projected first-round pick Taylor Booker. Taylor Booker, I remember when this kid came out of IMG Academy. He was nasty then. And guess what? He's even nastier now. Okay? He loves to just pancake over people, and that's right there. And also, they got a center. A lot of people saying this right here is the best center in all of college football. The kid came from Washington. This Alabama team, this Alabama offensive line could be legendary. This Alabama offensive line could be the key to them winning the national championship in Keelan DeBoer's first year. At the defensive line, Overton, the transfer, he came over. Otis, he's gotten smaller. He's gotten, more athletic. But another position that this team right here will be loaded at is the linebacker position led by Lawson. Lawson came back for another year. I think that this team right here, I think that this linebacker core could be special. The defensive line could be special. The secondary could also be special. You got Damani Jackson that came over from USC. But you also got Malachi Moore at the safety position that came back for his senior year. That was gigantic for this Alabama team. So when we look at this Alabama team and we look at, position by position, this team right here is really, really a really good team. These are the two games that I'm worried about this season. I'm not worried about no games until September 28th when Alabama faced Georgia at Tuscaloosa, at Brian Diddy, at Nick Saban Field. Brian Diddy Stadium at Nick Saban Field. That's the first game that I'm going to really worry about with this Alabama team. Now, let's just say if this Alabama team can get past Georgia and defeat this Georgia Bulldog team. The next game that I'm really worried about is October 19th at Tennessee. What is that? The 2nd October. The second Saturday in October. Where these two teams will face off. Y'all know what that means. That means it's going to be smoking cigars in the house. Alabama faces Tennessee at Neyland Stadium. That's going to be a hell of a game, y'all. I can already tell y'all. That's the second game that I'm worried about. Now, the third game, I'm kind of worried about, but I'm not really. And the reason why is because they're going to be at home. It's the Missouri game, the next week. And when people talk about the SEC, that's why the SEC is the best conference in college football. That's the most elite conference. And Texas is going to learn. Alabama, September 28th, they got Georgia. They would go 2 games. And then on October 19th, they got Tennessee at Tennessee. The next week, they got Missouri. The next week, they got LSU. The next week, they got Mercy. Then the next week, they got Oklahoma. And then the next week, they got their interstate rivalry, the Auburn Tigers. So y'all see that they got a stretch of 3 straight games. Well, 3 out of the 5 games. Well, 4 out of the 5 games. That's going to be crazy. Now, they go to Oklahoma. They go to LSU. But I got a feeling that this Alabama Crimson Tide team, it's only 2 games that I'm worried about, that I'm really worried about. And that's the Tennessee and Georgia. So I think that Alabama will beat Georgia. But I think that they will lose to Tennessee. Or vice versa. Don't quote. I think that those are going to be the 2 games that they really have to worry about. And they might lose both of those games. So I can see this Alabama Crimson Tide team being 11-1 or 10-2. Those are going to be their 2 hardest games. And the reason why I say that is because 1 is Georgia. 2, you're going to Neyland Stadium. And everybody know 110,000 fans screaming on a Saturday in October. It's going to be crazy. And that is the reason why I'm saying that this team right here, their record could be 10-2 or 11-1. Now, Alabama do have something working for them. They still got Nick Saban in the house. Nick Saban is still a consultant on the Alabama Crimson Tide team. That is the one thing that Keelan DeBoer got that no other coach has ever had, really. Is he got the GOAT, Nick Saban. He still got him in his back pocket if he needs. For recruiting purposes, for just, for just game planning. What do you think, Coach Saban, what do you think we should do in this game? What do we think we should do in this situation? That's the best thing that you can have as a head coach. It's a legend that can tell you what you need to do. I think that Jalen Milroe is going to surprise me. Right now, Jalen Milroe is not even considered a first-round pick. But I guarantee by the end of this season, Jalen Milroe, if he stays healthy, he will be up there towards the top of the best quarterback. It's going to happen. Some of these games, I think Alabama will win because of 2 things. Offensive line, quarterback. I think they'll win some of these games just off the strength of that. Like the Missouri game. I think they'll win against Missouri just off of a quarterback, and an offensive line. I think that, Oklahoma, I think that they'll run over Oklahoma because of why? Because of Jalen Milroe and that offensive line. So when I think about Alabama, I think that Alabama are going to be just fine. I think that y'all are, or I think that what y'all don't understand about Keelan DuBois, the man is a winner. He left Washington. Y'all just forgot that Washington was just playing in the national championship game last year. Now he left Washington, came here, and this is what he was handed the keys to a powerhouse team with with unlimited, with a lot of money in NIL. But the one thing is a $300 million athletic facility. That's what Nick Saban left. If you leave me this, and I just think about when he went to Washington, Washington was already open. They wasn't like he was when he left. So you think that this man right here is going to fall off that horse? Why? You think he's going to fall off that horse because why? Because Nick Saban is gone. When Nick Saban really not gone. Back, back, that's what you think. And that's why I think people think y'all listen to me. Y'all think that Nick Saban don't be open, but he's still in Alabama. That's why I think he's really, really good. Like I said, college football players, college football is really wide open. It's two teams that I can you right say that these two teams right here are head and above everybody else. That's the number one team and the number two team. That's Ohio State and Georgia. Ohio State and Georgia are the only two teams that I feel that is head and neck above everybody else. They just better than everybody. Bottom line. But everybody else, I just think it's open season. 12-man playoff, 13 playoff. So Alabama, I just got a feeling they're gonna be somewhere in that number. They're gonna be somewhere in that top 12. Bottom. You can book that. Now, what if they not? Is it something to panic about? Is it something to panic about? No. It's not nothing to panic about. See, what people don't get is Alabama fans, they're going to panic because why? Because they're so used to Nick Saban. They're so used to Nick Saban being the man to lead them. 2 wins, 2 losses, you don't panic because you have Nick Saban. The same thing with Keelan DuBois. I don't think you should panic. If they lose 2 games, they lose 3 games. I don't think you should panic. Now they get to the 4 games. Now you got something to worry about. But I think Keelan DuBois. I don't think Keelan DuBois would lose 2 games. I don't think he would. I don't think he would lose 3 games. I definitely don't think he'll lose 4 games. I think that a lot of people are gonna be surprised about what he does in his first year at Alabama. I think a lot of people are gonna be surprised by it. Watch and see. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Let me know what y'all think about this Alabama Crimson Tide team. Let me know what y'all think about what y'all think their record is gonna be this season. And if I was wrong, that's fine. But I don't think I'm wrong. I think that this Alabama Crimson Tide team is gonna surprise people. Why? Because the foundation has been laid. It's been laid down already. And that's the reason why I think that y'all gonna be surprised when this team go 11-1 and they're in the SEC championship game. And they're number 2 or 3 in the college football playoff. You can book that one. Until next time, y'all have a great night, y'all. And it's good to be back on the Real Untouchable podcast, man. Thank y'all again for listening to another great day. Peace.